going to go down, Mom. We was going to go down fighting. I said, you're little boys. He said, no. We was going to die trying because we can't go home and something happened to you. I said, we're in L.A. What were you going to do? He said, Dad said, we fight, we die. I said, when did he tell you this? He said, we fight, we die. And I'm going, what is he training these boys? What is he saying to them when I'm not here? But like he said, he's raising boys to be men.
Boys to be men. Um, where, and she didn't learn the lesson, but nevertheless, the lesson was that I love her and respect her enough to die for her. To die for her. If they had told me when I took David to the hospital that I was going to go to jail, not a problem. Not a problem. Huh?
I've always told my children, I'm not afraid to go to jail. I'll get out and I'll behave the same way when it comes to respecting my woman.
Exact. Come on now. See. We're going to move on to our next topic. Okay? And the next topic is attention. Prioritizing attention. Prioritizing attention. In your pamphlets it says everything and everyone wants our attention, and I know that's right. We often give divided attention to areas, people that need our full attention. Are y'all reading along with me? Break out your pamphlets, please. This can have a damaging effect on our priorities and desires. We have things that steal our attention and shape our values in a negative way. This can seriously impact your marriage. Paying attention to your spouse, giving them the attention they deserve, that they what? That they deserve and need, is an important way to make your marriage priority. Everyone wants your attention. With all the voices screaming to be noticed and heard, it is easy to see how your spouse can be just another thing in the long line of things that need attention. So, what do we do? How do we solve the problem of attention? How do we solve the problem of attention? How many have a problem with attention in your spouse? Don't raise your hand. Don't raise your hand. Okay. And this is a rhetorical question. All right. And do you feel you need more attention? Do you feel you need more? And I say this because, are y'all listening? I say this because your requirement for attention might not be their level of requirement for attention. They might not be shaped like that. Okay? They might not be shaped. Like your love language might be different than your spouse's love language. Okay? And ours is. Okay? Ours is different. All right? But does that mean that since you don't require much attention, that you shouldn't give your spouse the attention that they need and deserve? Sir.
I think in our relationship, it's been an evolution. Because in the beginning of our relationship, I didn't really need that kind of attention. I really didn't even, we kind of, when we got together, we both were raising, she was raising Melina, I was raising TT, and my older son, Trey. So when we got together, we more were like people who came together, but we were a little independent. You know what I mean? We didn't really need each other as much. We came together for the aspect of our love, but as far as like duties and things and like
Put that mic.
duties and spending time, it wasn't so important for us. But now, like in my years of growing older, like I need that attention now. I need that that nourishment.
Why?
I need that affection.
Why?
I need that I, yeah, I can't even say why. I just know that my whole mentality has changed, and I need more affection. I need more, uh, we talk to each other every single day on a daily basis, like almost every 2 hours. Before we wouldn't talk to each other all day. You know what I mean? We come at the end of the day and we
Okay,
challenge it a
so
little bit.
so what was your relationship when you wasn't doing all that talking? Was it like cohabitation, or was it really a relationship?
Basically, it was a lot of cohabitation and building a relationship because we were getting to know each other because there was things we thought we knew about each other. Like I thought she got into the field of dealing with kids because she just loved kids like I love kids. You know what I mean? Come to find out, she did it as a convenience because she had a kid at an early age. It had nothing to do with this is my passion, but for me, it was my passion because I grew up in a house that had 20 kids in it. You know what I mean? So it was just normal for me. You know what I mean? But for her, it was just out of necessity. So we've just kind of grown and learned. That's why I love the words that she used. She said we've grown together because we literally have changed the way we think, the way we interact with each other. All of those things have come during time, and I find myself the needy one, being the needy one.
But
When I wasn't
the
that
thing
way
is, the thing is, there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that. You know, if this is what you need for your relationship, you know, and this is what secures you in your mind for the relationship, you know, that should be. And when you say you growing together, okay, notice, listen, this is not what you're doing. You're not growing like that. You're growing like this. You see? All right. And that's what the Bible's talking about. The two shall become one flesh. Okay? It's in that becoming unity, okay? That your needs are met and you're actually growing. Okay? You're growing more closer. You're growing more alike, you know, because now your minds and your spirit is uniting. We talk about having soulmates. No, soulmate is what you create in your relationship. You know, soulmate don't mean you got something more in common than your spouse. That's how they trick you out of your relationship. Oh, we soulmates. No, you not. You're just a bunch of. Okay? Yes, sir. Turn his mic up. Is it on? Go on, Tim.
Test.
I'll get closer to you.
To piggyback off what is known as this morning, Bishop Finney had to say, we're the opposite. She loves kids. When I first met her and found out what she did, I was like, oh, I don't like kids like that. So as I grew to know her, I also grew to love what she did. And because she's a, foster parent and stuff like that, there's been a couple that has come to the house that I try not to get close to. Because I know if I do and they leave, it's almost like I have abandonment issues. It's like, why did they have to go? Because there was a set of twins that she had that I fell in love with. And then the last child that she had, Miracle, I tried not to get close to that little girl. I tried not to. I told God, you want to do everything in your possibility to not let me fall in love with this little girl. And come to find out that when she left, we could have kept her. We could have kept her. And that would have been a fight I would have put up with. She said we would have had to fight the system.
We, we're going to bring it back
Okay.
to we're going to
But
bring it
let me
back
say-
to
let me say this.
attention between husband and wife.
Okay, let me say this. My wife has shown me more about me than I've ever known in my 50 plus years because of the fact that my wife, she has a way to speak to you in a way to make you say, wait, why you say that about me? But then once she finishes and you go back to yourself, you realize, okay, all she was doing is letting me know, look, I see what you can do, but you have to see it for yourself, you know, and I appreciate her for that. So,
On attention, You need some coffee? How many? Grab a card. Grab a card. The one that says research shows. Okay? Research shows. Y'all got that? Okay. I passed those out to this morning. You don't have that one? You have that, don't you? I gave it to you. All right. Who has that card? Thank you. It says research shows that 1/3 of Americans wish their spouse would spend less time on their phones and more time with them. Social media and games can be fun, but should never be prioritized over meaningful time with your spouse. Let me read that again. It says, research shows that 1/3 of Americans wish that their spouse would spend less time on their phones and more time with them, less time on their computers, less time on their TVs, less time on reels, less time on the folks on the phone with their homies, less time with their extended family, mom and daddy that ain't even in the house, and more time with them. Social media and games can be fun, but should never be prioritized over meaningful time with your spouse. Question: how do you feel about the research? Why do you say that? Huh?
Call it the first husband. I'm the second husband.
Now, now, those of you who suffer from neglect because your spouse is on the video games, your spouse is on the phone talking to somebody else, or your spouse is on what they call, and I just heard that, you know, guy told me, well, when I get home, I got to have me some me time. So I go into my man cave and I play video games for about 4 hours. My, my question is, does that interfere with the attention that you're supposed to be giving your spouse? Or do you think it does, or it has any value at all? How is that? It couldn't be. You want what's best for me, and for me right now is to sit up in front of the TV for 5 hours, or to be on the video games for. No, I asked you the question. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I was just about to say that because as a mother, you work, go to school. I got 7 kids. I
By
need
choice.
okay, but I need time too. You know what I'm saying, to myself to veg out for a moment and just gather my thoughts. So I understand that as a man who works and goes to school and deals with tons of kids, including his own, um, he needs time to come home and veg out too. So I respect that. But in me respecting him having time and him respecting that I have time, we also have to understand, and we grew to learn that we need that time together to veg out and understand and be with each other too. So I mean, he'll come home and he'll, post up for a minute and do him. I'll come home and go in my room and close my door to peace and quiet for a minute and do me. And then we'll end up in the same room together. We'll sit, we'll talk, we'll intertwine with whatever is going on inside of our heads or whatever. We'll prep, plan, do whatever, and watch our TV shows. We have TV shows that we like to watch together. That I have learned, and I'm glad that he's understanding that it's changed for me. Like a lot of shows that we used to watch together, we can't because my brain will be like, this is too much drama. It's too much. It's too much for me. It's too much drama. It's too much going on. Like if your life is worse than mine, I can't deal with it. Like, come on now, I can't deal with all of that. So he's like Power and shows like that. I can't watch those with you. So we've learned to find shows that are more wholesome for us to enjoy together that don't stress me out.
On my thing is so, and I don't know about y'all. I'm just gotta say me, okay. When I want your full attention, okay, I don't want you doing nothing else. I don't even want no TV on. I want you attentive to me, all right? I want your full attention. Now, I understand that women can do 90,000 things at one time. I understand that. I understand that. But when it's time for my attention, I want you to put those 90,000 things down and pick up the one thing, all right, which is me, and give me your full attention. Okay? That's just how I am. That's how I'm built. I don't want to be in competition with your divided mind. Okay? Now, if it's 15 minutes, if it's 30 minutes, fine. Give me that 30 minutes where it's just me. It ain't the kids, it ain't the cell phone, it ain't somebody else's problem, and it definitely ain't the church people. For sure. And we have gone on vacation. We have gone on vacation, all right? Counsel people all the way up to where we're going. Counsel them while we there, all right? And then other things started breaking out, and we supposed to be relaxing, but then there's stuff that's happening while we gone. And because we have cell phone access, We didn't even get a chance to rest, just to come back home, and these folks leave each other anyway. No more, no more, no more, no more. When we go on vacation now, it's us. It's just us. I don't want to hear nothing about David or Dewan or my grandsons or Dr. Edwards or nothing. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. All I want to hear and all I want is your what? Exactly, exactly, exactly. Because it's when you give full attention, no matter how much time it is, that's what affects your marriage. And that's what brings you closer together. Says Cowan. Yes, ma'am. No, no, no. The Bible says for us to have agape love for one another. What is an agape love? It is a self-sacrificing love where you sacrifice what you don't need to fulfill the needs of your spouse. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You sacrifice. It might not be no big deal to you, but if it's a big deal to your spouse, it's a big deal. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna need you to leave, okay? You're a little too young for this conversation. Yeah, she got to go too. Although you're on the brink of needing this conversation, there was a card. She was turned around. I thought it was an adult. There's this card that I didn't print out and I'm going to print out. Okay? It said, it says, having sex might not be important for you. Getting a kiss every day might not be important for you. But if it's important to your spouse, then you need to do it. Then you need to do it. All right? Don't belittle it. Don't dismiss it. Don't be dismissive of it. All right? Because it's not your love language. If it's the love language for your spouse, sacrifice yourself. Hang yourself to the cross and give your spouse what they need. When you need something, because there's an opposite side of love language, it might not be important for you, but if it's important to them, then sacrifice yourself and give it to them. You might not need no coochie. Let's make it plain. Let's make it plain. I'm not live, am I? Huh? I'm not live, right? Okay, it's good. You you might you might not require